Okay, if you've ever felt like you're just shouting into the social media void, then you are in the right place. We're going to break down how to create a social media strategy that actually attracts clients and does it without causing that total burnout feeling we all know. Does this sound familiar at all? You're posting all the time, you're trying to keep up with the latest trends, you're always scrambling for the next idea, but the results? They're kind of all over the place, and honestly, it's just exhausting. Marketing expert Chantal calls this the content hamster wheel, and it's a feeling that, wow, so many business owners know way too well.
But what if the answer isn't to post more? What if it's about posting smarter? This is the huge mindset shift we're digging into today. Social media success? It's not a numbers game about how much you post. It's a relationship game. It's about building trust.
And that brings us right to the core of this whole strategy, a concept Chantal builds everything around: the know, like, and trust model. She explains that this isn't just some catchy marketing phrase, it's the actual psychological journey that every single one of your customers goes on before they ever decide to work with you.
So it breaks down just like this. First, people have to know you even exist, right? Then, as they start to see more of your stuff, they begin to like you, your vibe, your message. And finally, and this is the most important part, they start to trust that you genuinely get their problem and that you have the skills to solve it. Your social media is what guides them through this whole process.
And that's why this quote is so important. See, social media isn't the place to just shout, "Hey, buy my stuff." It's a tool for building relationships. When your content makes people feel seen and understood and they get confident in what you do, you build this loyal audience that, over time, will absolutely turn into clients.
Okay, so if it's all about building that trust, where in the world do you start? Well, according to Chantal, it all comes down to two really foundational decisions: choosing the right playground to be on, and then defining what you're actually going to talk about.
A classic mistake is trying to be everywhere at once. It's just not sustainable. The key is to focus on maybe one or two platforms where your ideal clients are already hanging out. And each platform has its own distinct vibe, right? LinkedIn is for professional insights. Instagram is super visual. And Facebook really thrives on community and storytelling. You got to respect the platform to connect with the people there.
So once you know where you're posting, you got to figure out what you're posting. And this is where something called content pillars come in. Just think of these as the main topics, the core themes your business is known for. So instead of just posting random ideas, you're consistently hitting on the same key themes.
So, for example, a marketing strategist wouldn't just talk about marketing. No, their pillars might be something specific like lead generation and content systems. Or an accountant, maybe they focus on tax planning and profit improvement. This kind of consistency makes your audience instantly connect your brand with that specific expertise. You literally become the go-to person for that thing.
Okay, now here's where it gets really cool. How do you use these pillars to come up with endless ideas? Chantal uses the simple but totally brilliant system to make sure her clients' content is always balanced and valuable. It's called the EATS framework. And EATS is an acronym. It stands for Educate, Aspire, Tell Stories, and Start Conversations. It's this super simple tool that works like a checklist, making sure you're creating this really well-rounded content mix that builds your authority, shows people what's possible, and connects with them on a real human level. First up, we have E for Educate. This is your chance to be generous with your expertise. We're talking tips, how-tos, answering frequently asked questions, anything that demystifies your field. This is the content that really builds your authority and makes your audience think, wow, this person really knows their stuff. Next up, A is for Aspire. This content is all about showing what's possible. When you share client wins, testimonials, or the incredible transformations you help create, you're not just bragging. You're painting this really vivid picture of the future your potential clients could have too.
And then there's T for Tell Stories. And let me tell you, this is absolutely crucial for connection. You have to share the real stuff, the lessons you've learned the hard way, why you even started your business, a little peek behind the curtain. This is what turns your brand from just a logo into a relatable, real person. And finally, we've got S for Start Conversations. I mean, it's called social media for a reason. It's supposed to be a two-way street. Ask questions, talk about what's trending, genuinely invite people to share their opinions. As Chantal points out, even if people don't comment publicly, they are still listening, and this kind of content makes your page feel like a real community.
All right, so you've got your big ideas from your pillars, and you're using the EATS framework. Now what? How do you actually structure a single post to have the most impact? Well, it comes down to a really simple but powerful four-part formula.
Every single effective post needs these 4 things. First, a strong hook to stop that endless scroll. Second, a point of connection where your reader thinks, hey, that's me. Third, a little touch of credibility, showing why you're the right person to be talking about this. And finally, a super clear call to action, telling them exactly what to do next.
And this brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle. So many businesses get this part wrong. They get obsessed with frequency, right? They think they have to post multiple times a day just to stay relevant. But let me tell you, that is a one-way ticket to burnout city. And this slide just illustrates the core message of this entire strategy perfectly. It is so much better to deliver clear, valuable insights a few times a week, consistently, than it is to just pump out a high volume of random, noisy content every single day. Consistency, that builds clarity and trust. High frequency, that just builds noise and burnout. So let's just recap the whole system real quick. First, choose the right platform for you. Then, define your clear content pillars. Use that EATS framework so you never run out of ideas. Structure every post for impact. And above all else, choose consistency over frequency. When all these pieces work together, social media stops feeling like a chore and starts becoming your most powerful tool for attracting your dream clients.
And that's our deep dive. I'll leave you with this one question to think about. What's one story you can tell this week? Maybe a small lesson you learned, a client success, or just a behind-the-scenes moment to start building that genuine trust. Something to chew on. Thanks so much for tuning in.